Hello YouTube, in today's video I'm going to give you 5 probably more ways that you can save a ton of money, especially over the long run, doing your own do-it-yourself projects, whether it's electronics, crafts, you name it, fixing your own cell phone, fixing your computers, fixing your garage, whatever it is, your car. This kind of applies to everyone, and I'm going to give you over 5 ways that you could save a ton of money doing this yourself without having these massive investments, you know, buying a lift and buying a soldering iron and buying a $200, buying welding equipment. There's going to be cheaper ways for you in this video. Maybe some you've heard about, maybe some you haven't. So if you're into saving money, if you're into doing things yourself, check out this video. I think you will find some information in here that will, hopefully save you a few bucks. All right, number 1, your public library. I feel this is so underutilized. Public libraries get a lot of resources, and something I've seen a lot of libraries do, especially my local library, is now they have like tool rentals where you can actually go to your library and rent a soldering iron or rent a saw or rent a screwdriver set. Especially if you're looking for like a metric set or star keys or something that's maybe a little different that you don't have, rather than spending that $10 or $20, which might not seem like a lot, but that's just one of many items you may need to complete your projects. And local libraries do a tool rental where you can get it, you can keep it for a week or so, do your project, return it. The only cost to you, the library cards are free, so the only cost to you is if A, you forget to bring it back, or you lose it or something like that. So really great resource. Speaking of libraries, you can rent games now. A lot of them have like Wii and PlayStation games and things like that. A lot of them have, my local library has a huge Blu-ray DVD collection, so you can save a bunch of money there as well. But again, this is a tool, this is a DIY, but I feel like know that and go check it out. The other thing is information. We have YouTube now, so a lot of you can be like, I don't need to go to the library, but do know the library might have a Haynes manual or have a manual that you might have to pay money for, especially like a car manual, computer, probably not computer manual, but other copyrighted content that you might not be able to find on YouTube, you could find in your local library. So hit up your library. Number 2, makerspaces, and in particular community colleges. Community colleges, I'm here in California. Again, if I didn't mention it earlier, a lot of this video is for people in the USA, but I imagine Canada and a lot of other countries have these same resources. I know makerspaces are very popular in Europe now specifically, and I'm sure they're popular all over the world, South America, etc. But what a makerspace is there's for-profit makerspaces, and typically you pay like a monthly fee, so it's not necessarily free, but you pay a monthly fee and you get access to 3D printers, table saws, some bigger equipment that would cost, this is where you're really going to save a lot of money, because like a table saw, it could cost you multi-$100. A 3D printer, especially a good one, is multi-$100. A really good soldering gun or soldering iron or welding equipment. I've seen embroidery equipment where you can make your own hats at makerspaces. I've seen, everything, industrial sewing machines, things to work with leather, and then when you get into electronics, you could get all the Raspberry Pi stuff, all that kind of electronic things that you might need at the makerspace. Now, I bring up community college makerspaces because I've seen, especially around me, a lot of them are free, or they require you to just take one class. And so here, right now, it's about $40 a semester. So for that's about 3 months or so. For $40, that comes out to like $15 a month. Sometimes it's even free. You don't even have to pay the $40, but it's somewhere between free and $40 for 3 months. You get access to table saws. They have tool walls of everything from saws, rotary saws, Dremels, you name it, they have it available to you, and some really expensive equipment as well. And that's just really cool. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. I don't think a lot of people are aware of these makerspaces because a lot of community colleges can't advertise. They don't have huge budgets. And speaking of community college, I was recently talking to a community college instructor, and he was telling me how there's this guy who works full-time, but he has this business idea about he wants to do something with Wi-Fi. Anyways, long story short, he has a full-time job and he doesn't necessarily want to, and this guy has a metal shop. This is the metal shop teacher. So he has the welding and the big heavy equipment, like this multi-$1,000 equipment. And the guy was like, I really don't want to take your class. Like, I don't want to actually do the homework assignments, but I'm really interested in using your equipment and I'll come in every once in a while. I'll pay the tuition to get in. And this instructor worked with this person. He said, yeah, I could totally work with you on here. Just take this class. You can come in when you want. I just need to do a few projects. So think about that your local community college has a lot of resources for you. They might have a car section where you're going to work on their lift and things like that. Maybe, I don't know, the chemistry, they'll have the 3D printers. They might have, a fabric department or something with their drama department, with their stage setup to be able to work with clothing and leather and all this other stuff. So, or podcasting, they have the equipment with the really nice condenser mics, maybe potentially video equipment. I just think it's super overlooked to go and check out your local community college. I say community college because it's typically cheaper than your 4-year college. And they have a lot of resources that are underutilized, massively, massively underutilized. And as I mentioned, you could get it usually to a cost of a class. And also, if you're really into this stuff, there's this new thing going on called non-credit classes where you could take a class for not for credit and it's free. There is free community colleges called non-credit, and you will see those rolling out soon. What you would do is you would open up a community college's catalog and go to non-credit. It might be under non-credit under the N, so glossary, go to N. It might be specific to certain topics, so it might be like geography non-credit. Really cool that they're doing that, and it's a great resource. I highly recommend it. I recently saw some of these makerspaces, and there's here in California there's a big initiative, so there's like millions of dollars being poured into it. So I've seen some that are really great. Like this would be like one room of 3, and you can see here they have the embroidery equipment, soldering iron, you name it, all the little fitments and filaments and everything you need for 3D printers and everything else, table saws. They got it. It's pretty cool. A little word of caution though, what you might be wondering, Drew, what's the downside? Typically you have to take a class. They want you to learn the equipment first. So there is a little bit of time you have to invest to take the class so you can use the equipment properly. But that's like an hour or so. Furthermore, it's come to my attention that both the library and the makerspace will sometimes do like a collaboration with a for-profit company. For example, near me, a cell phone company that repairs cell phone screens and battery replacement. They did a workshop on the weekend, and it was like $20 to do this workshop, and they teach you how to replace the battery, or they teach you how to replace the screen on your phone. So it's a one-on, you get an instructor, you get the resources of the makerspace, and you can you can fix your phone for super cheap. And again, you don't need the tools because this private company will bring you all the little doodads and tools you need to open up a phone and make those kind of repairs. And then you have the expertise there as well. All right, moving along to number, I guess this is like 3 or 4, is asking a neighbor. Remember back in the day, you'd ask your neighbor for some bread or an egg if you didn't have it. You never know. Your neighbor might have, you don't want to, like a saw or something you just need once. Why go out and buy it, especially if you want to, you can always do a trade. Just ask. I think a lot of people are willing to help. I think now with the internet, it's like when somebody rings on your doorbell, you're like, oh my God, who is it, right? I know we are more in this generation now where it's weird to make these kind of interactions, but it's free. It'll save you a ton of money. Think about it. Think about asking a friend, asking a neighbor. Of course, it comes with, there's not as much flexibility there, but that's something you give up for not paying for it. Moving along, Home Depot, O'Reilly, other retail stores offer free services. Like you could do free battery testing, free alternator testing. They have a loaner tool program. So you can actually loan tools from O'Reilly Auto Parts if you're doing your own, working on your car. Really cool. Home Depot, I don't know if it says free, but everything from plumbing equipment to, yard equipment, dolly, you name it, little things to big things. You're going to do your flooring. Rather than buying the tool, think about renting it. Again, it's not as cheap as my previous examples, but it should save you a ton of money. If you are going to go and buy it, I have two recommendations. One is the thrift store. Thrifting is awesome. You get things for really, really cheap. It does require a lot more time, but you could save up to 50 to 80% off a tool or something of that sort. Another really cheap option, I am one for getting good tools and holding on to them. The problem why I'm making this video is I think those people already know what they want. They love their brands. They spend the money. They shouldn't be watching this video. Don't get me wrong, that's a great strategy. But for somebody who's really cheap, maybe you make minimum wage, or you just don't want to spend a lot of money on this kind of stuff, or if you just need it for like one-time use, that's when I think like a Harbor Freight is totally fine. I think Harbor Freight gets a bad name. They are really cheaply made things, but if you're only going to use it once or twice, you only need this cheap little thing to get you through the job. Now, obviously, there's certain jobs where I think you shouldn't skimp on, but if it's something simple, you could totally get away a lot of the times with Harbor Freight. Download the 20, you can usually get 25% off coupon on top of it. So you get things for really, really cheap and really save a few dollars. So there you have it. Makerspace, community college makerspaces, community college classes, even if they don't have a makerspace, but you could take a class, your public library, free in-store tool loaner programs at things like O'Reilly, auto parts stores, local tool stores, garage sailing and thrifting, really great. Ask your neighbor. Just say, hey, I'm trying to do a project. Do you have this or know someone who else has it? Good opportunity there. And if you have to buy, there's coupons. There's a couple of ways to go there. So there you have it. 5 or more ways to save money. Question for you all: which one of these ways do you think is the best, or which one did you maybe not think about before? I'd love to hear some new ideas, some ways we can all save money. And if you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll catch you on the next one.